Social media has given us the opportunity to meet anyone, anywhere around the world. So we decided to take it a step further.
Hi!
Hello.
How are y'all?
And invite 4 strangers to a potluck to meet for the very first time.
What kind of dancing do you do?
It's called light feet.
I was a weird kid growing up. I am such a geek about anime, comics, superhero, sci-fi.
My parents wanted me to do business. They wanted me to do the 9 to 5. I was like, I don't want to do this. I love performing. I love makeup. I love acting, and drag just gave me that whole package.
I'm the first elephant acupuncturist in the past 3,000 years.
Oh my God, so how big are the needles? Is it like this?
No, I'm not stabbing them.
So grab a seat and join the conversation. This is Potluck.
So I think I'm supposed to read this card so we all get to know each other a little bit better. Welcome to Potluck. You have been invited to break bread with 4 strangers with the hopes of leaving this table as friends. Bon appetit.
Oh.
The dish that I brought to share with us is a good starter. So I'm Jewish, and I'm Ashkenazi Jewish and Syrian and Armenian. So a staple when we have our Shabbat meal is bread. The matbucha, the red stuff, is spicy. So if you don't like spice, oh right, you like spice. Okay, good. And then hummus is this one right here, and then this is baba ganoush. Baba ganoush is an eggplant puree. So I hope you enjoy it.
I think we will.
I traveled once a year, every year, up until I went to college. I became a vegetarian, a strict vegetarian. I'm not anymore, but from 5th grade until my senior year of high school.
Wow.
So we would travel with these tour groups, and of course there were pre-planned meals. We decided to tell the tour groups that I was a vegetarian, and wherever we went, all the stand-in meals, except in Asia, were cheese-based. So what started as sort of an inside joke and a funny running gag between my grandma and I became sort of a tradition to try cheese in different countries. And it's a way that my grandma and I bond now. She gets me Cheese of the Month Club every year for Christmas. So it's kind of a cutesy little tradition.
This is super culture to me because since I was young, this was the #1 thing I always wanted. I was like, I want lasagna every single day. And it got to the point where even to this day, I told my girlfriend, you have to learn the ingredients.
Wow.
She does a little something different.
And has the girlfriend learned how to cook the lasagna yet?
Oh yeah, she does, but it's something
It's
that
not
she's
there.
working.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's not
to the
there.
point.
Okay. What kind of dancing do you do?
It's called light feet.
What's light feet? I've never
Tell me
heard of
more.
it. Is it light feet or light feet?
Light, like L-I-T-E, feet. It's from the Bronx, New York. You ever heard of the chick noodle soup?
Yes.
The dance?
Yes.
It started from that era, and then if you guys don't know about it, it's like a little chicken noodle soup. It's like a side-to-side
soda on
thing
the
that you
side,
do.
right?
Yeah, with the
need
soda
to
on the
see
side.
this.
We do hat tricks. It's
Can we
different.
make
It's a
you
whole
do
culture.
this?
Oh yes, for sure. Right?
Yeah, give us a demo.
Oh, I
need
got you.
this.
Show us.
Here we go.
Very well done. Oh, wow.
Can you do that with a dish
That's
too?
awesome.
Oh no! Right, I'll throw it up and catch it.
Have you made lots of friends doing this?
Oh
Is
yes,
that-
my circle now, because of this dance style, those are my peoples to this day. I have a whole crew called Waffle. It stands for We Are Family for Life Entertainment.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so great.
Smart.
That feeling is just amazing. I love to express positive energy. I want to push that out the best way I can. Energy is easy to realize, so easy. It's once you see bad or negative, you could just tell. I stay away from it, or I try to enhance to make them better somehow. I don't know how, but with my energy, hopefully it works.
I was a weird kid growing up. I was such a little weirdie, and I grew up in the suburbs. I'm half black. All my friends were white. And I always sort of felt like the oddball. At the time I was 18, I was as most 18-year-olds are, I have no idea where my life is going. I'm in college because you're supposed to go to college when you graduate high school. And I started posting these sort of avant-garde makeup looks, not to this level. You've stepped it up.
I'm not
times
wearing
10.
makeup. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, natural beat. We love boy beat almost. Yes. But brands started catching on and snowballing, and it happened so quickly. But I was in the honors program at my college, so I had to write this 60-page thesis before I could graduate.
Mazel tov.
Thank you. But it was the last thing I had to do in college, so I was like, I'm not going to stay in Boston. I want to be in New York City. I want to be in Manhattan. So I moved here, became a commuter student, was writing the thesis while I was going on these brand trips. So I was based pretty much exclusively in the beauty industry for, I'd say like the first 2.5 years. And then I switched over to cosplay because I am such a geek about anime, comics, superhero, sci-fi. I've always loved those sorts of things. And when I first started my social media accounts, I was like, the beauty industry is not so bad at it. So I'm just gonna keep it kind of low key.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I started doing it, it was like, I think people could tell I was more passionate about that. So it snowballed even faster and it got picked up. And I'm so much happier doing this now.
When you find a job that you love, it becomes less of a job. It becomes more of a hobby. And when you find a job that you absolutely love and you get paid for it, you're golden.
And I'm sure you feel the same way.
Oh yeah, totally.
Of
I mean, my
course.
parents wanted me to do business. They wanted me to do the 9 to 5, white collar. I moved here when I was 7 years old. China 20 years ago was very, very conservative. I mean, it's still conservative now, but it was way more conservative back then. And I was told that I had to live a certain way. You had to live your role or gender in a certain way too. And I was implied at a very young age that you have to become a doctor, a lawyer, a businessman, or anything in that nature. I went to Pace University. I graduated early. I did business management.
I graduated early too.
Where did you go to
Yes,
school?
Emerson College in Boston.
Nice.
Yep.
And then after college, I was like, I don't want to do this. I love performing. I love makeup. I love doing hair. I love being creative and acting, and drag just gave me that whole package, and where I was able to combine all those elements into one thing, which was becoming a female impersonator. I'm just so much happier this way.
I can't imagine you, in the short time I've known you, in the past 5 minutes, like sitting at a desk job and just, I don't know, like toiling away. This makes so much sense.
No way.
I don't know. After I moved to America, I realized that there's so much more freedom. And I don't know if you guys remember this, MySpace.
Oh yeah.
MySpace.
Oh yeah.
And you probably know these people too, Raquel Reach, Jeffree Star.
Oh yeah.
All these people were, you don't know? Those,
I live under a rock.
They were like the lords of MySpace.
Well, let me explain to you, girl. So these people are MySpace icons and
Royalty,
figures.
yes.
Yeah, and they would create these looks of their makeup, their hair, and they would go wild and crazy. It wasn't the craziness that drew me to them. It was their courageousness and bravery and their freedom and their personality to just be themselves and be rebellious without caring what people think about them. And they were not afraid to play with all the colors. And that's what drew me to them. And that inspiration kind of kicked me off to play with colors and just to express myself and just to push the boundaries of what society tells you to do. And with the past 10 plus years of me doing drag, it has allowed me to become more confident, more happier. And recently I was on RuPaul's Drag Race Season 10, which was on VH1.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
And
God,
that just,
yes, amazing.
and it's been fantastic. It's been a fantastic ride.
Can you explain what drag is exactly?
Drag, of course.
I heard of it, but I never knew exactly
So
what
this
it was.
is woman, drag. So I don't dress like this all the time. I only dress up like this whenever there's a job or when there's a gig opportunity that calls for it. I mean, most people will start off drag as a hobby, as a way of expressing themselves because they feel so trapped in. They don't necessarily have to look like this all the time. They can dress up as any character that you want to be. Cosplay is a form of drag, I would say.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
you get to experience that supernatural power. And I think drag really helps you find your inner personality as well and just find that extension of who you are.
I feel like if you believe in yourself fully, you can do whatever you want, literally, like
Of course.
whatever it is.
And a better way to explain it would be your real name is Randy, right?
Yes.
But your persona is Kid the Wiz.
Yeah.
So same thing with me. My real name is Yuhua too, but my drag persona name is Yuhua Hamasaki, and that's my persona.
Yuhua Hamasaki?
Yes, and when you
I
are
like that.
not Kid the Wiz, you are more chill, you're, I don't know what you do out of your
Yes,
spare
calm.
time.
I'm
you're
always chilling,
calm.
yeah.
But then when you're Kid the Wiz, you're like on,
Yeah.
flipping hats, doing
Excited.
tricks, dancing.
Just sitting with these amazing artists. I'm a scientist, as you guys may have started to realize.
Yes, you make me feel so dumb.
No, rubbish. My passion as a scientist started really when I was 4 years old. I loved animals. I was that crazy child that every bunny, every dog I saw, I just wanted to take care of them. And I told everybody that I was going to be an animal doctor. That was it. I do, obviously, veterinary medicine, like Western medicine. So internal medicine work and surgery, but I also practice Eastern medicine because I believe that both types of medicines are important. And the thing is, I do a lot of acupuncture, and I'm the
Wow.
yeah,
That's so
yeah.
interesting.
and I'm the first elephant acupuncturist in the past 3,000 years.
Oh my God! So when you perform acupuncture on those elephants, I'm
Yes.
assuming they're huge. How big are the needles?
Very big.
How
So-
big? Is it
so
like
I-
this?
No, I'm not stabbing them. But actually, a hypodermic needle is what I use, just because they have very thick skin, but they're actually very sensitive, their skin. They're very, very delicate. So I use the hypodermic needle, and then I take a horse acupuncture needle and stick it inside the hypodermic needle. So that way we hit the points. for
What are
example.
the benefits? I don't know anything about acupuncture, even on humans.
Absolutely. So the reason why I personally went into acupuncture is I felt that orthopedic pain is hugely in anguish if anybody's had arthritis. But it's very, very painful, and seeing my patients with it, that's what inspired me to want to learn another modality, because we're just very limited.
In your profession, are you kind of like a do-it-all doctor for animals? Like dental, acupuncture, all of that? You just, wow.
It's nice when we have a whole team together. That's the ideal, obviously. But yes, I usually am going
You guys put them
surreal.
to sleep somehow before?
Have to.
All right, yeah.
My dessert is a Chinese dessert. So a lot of American desserts, there's cupcakes, there's cakes, a lot of sweets, but in Asian desserts, it's mostly vegetables, beans, and whatnot. And this is called tofu hua, which is basically translated to tofu pudding. And this reminds me a lot about my heritage and also culture and also my childhood, because when I first moved, I moved to my grandmother's village, and I was very hesitant in living there. So my grandmother would comfort me with this dessert all the time. And then when I moved to America, my parents worked a lot more, and to remind me that they still love me and they still care about me, they would bring home this dessert every night at nighttime.
Food is so powerful,
It
honestly.
is.
It really is.
Brings us all together, tells us
Yeah.
stories, tells us all about people. And that's, I think, what's so wonderful, that we all came together to talk about who we are, how we represent New York in different ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Or should I say New York?
I love New York. If I ever go anywhere in the United States, because I haven't traveled the world, I would just want to be there for like 2 days, because that's how bad I want to come back to New
Really?
York. Yes.
Oh, that's amazing though.
I've traveled to many cities and countries, but the one place that I can call home is New York City. I mean, there's great in other cities too, and other countries, but New York City is where it's at. I feel like there's so much diversity, there's so much culture, it's always moving, everybody's always moving, and I think to bring back to why you love it so much, I think it's because everybody's always doing something. You're always trying to outdo somebody, and that always gives me inspiration, and that always gives me the inspiration to do better at what I do.
This is the only place where I've known for a fact whatever room I walk into, I'm not the most interesting person there, which to me is more inspiring than anything, because you always have the chance to learn here. So it's comforting to me to feel like I don't have to try to fit in. I can be completely myself, but regardless of where I go, everyone else is going to be just as much of an individual.
Hearing that your ethnic is completely mixed, mine,
Yep.
all over the place, and that's what's so cool. Everybody has their own story. Everybody has their origin of where they came from, where their family came from, what they did, what they're feeling today. Everybody has this unique energy. And
I feel like you're such a colorful, vibrant person though.
Yes.
thank you.
Like I feel like your energy is not
very
like a
bubbly.
person. Yes,
Thank
exactly.
You. Thank you.
So nice.
Cheers to new friends.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers to love of food, finding ourselves in this city, and
Right.
maybe never leaving.
Never leaving.
I don't think I'll ever leave.
Me neither.
I'm still here.